Welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Now let's hear it for our special guest host, Diane Lampe.
I'm so honored and excited to be your host for today's call. You see, your next income breakthrough won't come from a better product or more leads. It'll come from one place, your mind. Today isn't about products or phone scripts. It's about unlocking something inside of you, the ability to think like a top earner. So that's why today's call is called Unlock the Income Generating Power of Your Mind, because that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to tap into something most people never realize is already inside of them, the ability to think like a top earner. I want to tell you a story. I remember I was crewing one of Tony Robbins' events. Most of you already know who he is, but I was crewing them. And what that meant was at the end of the night when he was done, which was really late lots of times, he would do some special training for those of us that were crewing his event. And I remember somebody sat there and was asked Tony, and he goes, hey, Tony, what do you have your degree in? And he goes, well, I got a PhD. And I'm sitting in the room and several of us are sitting there and we're going, he doesn't have that. And then he says, I have a PhD in results. And I got to tell you, I decided to own that because I was holding myself back because I didn't have the education. I didn't have that college degree. And I kept saying to myself, well, I can't get this job. I can't do this because I don't have my degree. People are smarter than me, better than me, whatever. And then the moment he said that, it changed everything for me. And if anybody's out there, hey, feel free to take that because it worked for me and it can work for you too. Here's what I want to tell you. You already have the tools. So what we need to do is unlock the part of you that makes them work. So before I bring up our first special guest, let's talk about that invisible ceiling. See, most agents don't get stuck because of lack of leads. They hit a wall because what's in their mind. They don't believe they're capable of more, so they don't ask for more. So I'm going to give you a little bit, talk about a core formula, and maybe you might want to write this down. I don't know, maybe it'll help you because belief equals behavior equals your bank account. Think about it, what I'm saying. Belief equals behavior equals your bank account. So you're not paid for what you want. You're paid for what you believe you can do. So thought patterns. Daily thoughts equal future income. The difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck, mental discipline. And we're going to talk about that today. So here's what I want you to know. You can't outwork a poor mindset. You have to outgrow it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So I'm going to give you a couple of things before we bring our guests up that you can actually do to start shifting your mindset today. So here we go. These are some things that top performers do every single day to train their thinking. So I want you to think about this, interrupting that negative self-talk. When you catch yourself saying, I'm not good at this, they probably won't buy. Stop. Take it out. I'm growing. I'm getting better with every call. What is your self-talk? You've got to stop the other. What I used to do, and this is funny because I learned it from Tony Robbins, I used to put a rubber band around my wrist. And every time I caught myself saying that negative self-talk, I would snap it. Now, I'm not telling you to do this because it hurts, but what it does, it causes that pattern interrupt. And then when you do that, you're not going to do it again. You're going to catch yourself even faster. So it helps you. The repetition reprograms your mind. So you want to say the right things, not the wrong things. So catch yourself and visualize your ideal outcome. 60 seconds a day. Guys, you got 60 seconds, don't you? So what I want you to do before your first appointment is to take a minute. Just take a minute. Picture the result you want. A successful conversation, a family protected, you winning. Your brain will start believing it's possible and acts accordingly. Because if you walk to that door with the opposite thought, guess what? You get what you think about the most. And so what's going to happen, you're going to manifest it. And I see these, I know that some of you are thinking, yeah, that might be me. Because I'll tell you, the things I'm telling you to do are things that I changed about me. And I keep working out all the time on myself. This one is a big one because you got to act boldly in spite of fear. Fear doesn't mean stop. It means go with courage. Every time you do the hard thing anyway, your belief grows stronger, right? Do you ever figure when you do something like you were so scared of doing and then you did it, don't you feel good about yourself? I know I do, because like, hey, I did that anyway. And then you can do these things for yourself because fear, false expectations appearing real. You're the only one that's making them real. So sometimes you just got to be bold. And, I've heard this for years. Andy said it. I continue saying it. Fortune favors the bold. If you want to be average and comfortable, then you can keep doing what you're doing because you're going to keep getting what you got, right? So to get what you want in life, you've got to go forward. Now, focus on identity, not just goals. What does that mean? Just don't say, I want to make whatever that number is per month. Say more like, I'm the kind of person who does X number of dollars per month because I show up, follow through, and lead with service. Because we are servant leaders. That's what I think about it. When I'm helping people, I want them to get better. I want to become the best version of myself as well. I want you to. And so here's what I want to say about borrow belief until yours catches up. A lot of times, if you're still doubting yourself, lean on your team, your mentor. Let your belief carry you until yours grows stronger. That's what the community is for. I really want to hopefully I'm making you think this morning and say, or could be this afternoon in the East Coast. I would like you to, if you can, drop it in the chat. Which one of those hit you the most? Was it interrupting that negative self-talk? Was it visualization? Was it the fear? Was it your focusing on identity, not just goals? Or your belief? Drop it in the chat. We want to know, because that's how we get better. Just, sharing with the team what's going on, right? Because that's how we can help each other grow stronger. And I love doing that because we've got all the tools here, guys. We just this is the part that we need to work on the most. This is going to show up in your bank account and making a difference in the world. So, now I get to introduce someone who truly gets it. He made the mind shift change, and it changed everything for him, guys. I want to welcome Mike Marisi up here. I love Mike. I've known him for a very long time. And I want to tell you, when he got started, he can tell, we're going to ask some questions. I'm going to interview him. I'm going to interview Delilah. She's going to be our other guest today. And I'm going to be asking the same questions because they're going to have totally different answers, I promise you. But Mike continues to grow all the time. His team is growing, his income is growing and multiplying, and he just goes out there and he works on getting a little bit better every day. He's VP right now, but we know it's going to change. We've been talking about some big goals that he's working on right now. I know he visualizes them every single day. So Mike, I want to ask you a question. What was the mindset shift you made and how did it really change your results? Because you just came out of the gates and you just went. So, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me on, guys. Absolutely. So I'd say the biggest mindset shift that I had was going from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And, when I first came into this business and, it's like you're learning so much, you're learning so many new things. And, even when you're here for some time and you're starting to learn new things like estate planning or you're trying to learn annuities, it's like, you have to look at the failures that you have each time as a way to learn from that mistake, to grow from that mistake, not say, oh, I had a failure, this isn't for me, and then start having that self-doubt. And I know when I had that shift of, hey, when I'm going out and I'm making mistakes, I'm putting the activity in, I'm finding out the ways that aren't working so I can find out the ways that will work, and by getting the coaching from the ones that are already doing it. So that growth mindset and just switching that belief in myself, knowing like, hey, I know I can figure this thing out. I know I may suck at something right now for a little while, but I'm going to find the answers and get the resources and get that direction to figure this thing out. So, the more I look at that belief in myself that I can overcome these new obstacles, even if I'm going into it with, my eyes closed, like it's a brand new thing. You know what I mean?
Well, on that mindset shift, you mean you've been working on yourself for some time because the reading, all of that, it's not that you just, like, oh, I'm just going to keep focus, just go out there and do it. Not only was the mentorship, but you kept reading books and asking for different books. What should I be reading now? And then you would ask others that that are where you want to be. That's who you ask. That's a big hint. Right there, right?
Yeah, it's huge because it's, you look at all the different events that are going on and like hotspots, the West Coast training, our big events that we have. What I've always looked at, and I kind of think about this from like way back in the day when I was first getting into sports, I like to play up. So what I mean by when I like to play up by getting in front of the people that are doing a lot better than me. The ones that are the Andy Albrights, the Diane Lampes, the Stephen Davies, the ones that are in the positions where I want to be. So, their mindset, the way that they react to things so different than where I'm at right now. And the more I play up and get around those people, it's like when I was younger and I would play basketball with my brother who's a few years older and his buddies. Like those guys were always bigger than me. Those guys are always, stronger than me. But I had to figure out my way to get around that and be stronger. And it kind of pushed me and stretched me out to become better. And that's what I look at here. Like I need to get around the ones that are going to stretch me. And the more I do it, the better things are getting.
And then I know you attend all the events and you never miss it. I think you just got back from Detroit too, right? Because you went to a hotspot to see Steven.
Yeah, surprised a few guys yesterday. Showed up to Detroit. Had a blast with Stephen Davies, Gina Hawks. A bunch of our guys were out there. Had a lot of fun, and just got through some training and had a blast just hanging out with Davies and Gina Hawks afterwards. And again, just picking Davies' brain and exactly what I'm saying. Just getting around the ones that are levels above me in so many different ways, and just seeing their mindset on things. Yeah. So I can have another shift, right?
Yeah. Well, speaking about the mind shift, how did that shift affect your activity, confidence, and income when you had that happen for you? Can you share that with everybody? Because I think people want to know what's the result, what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when you have that shift of saying, look, if I go out and I knock however many doors, and I know I can get better at it, your belief in yourself is going to go up. And when you have that confidence, and you may not have the competence, you may not be competent just yet, but if you have the confidence in yourself, that activity, that is going to help you figure those things out. And again, going back to that coaching, but when you put that activity in and you just do it over and over and over and over and over and over again, it's, that consistency will compound. And the more you're getting in front of people, whether it's, knocking on doors to make sales or recruiting, whether you're out and about or if you're doing recruiting appointments, the more you're doing something, the better you're going to get at it. And I know, one of the books I'm reading right now, or Mindset, which is by Carol Dweck. Davies told me about it, or he talked about it on TWC last week, I think it
Oh,
was.
okay.
But it talks about some of the best of the best, like Michael Jordan, and talks about some of these pilot fighters that are the absolute best ones. Well, they're just normal people. They've just done that activity so much more than anyone else. Like a really good pilot fighter didn't get born a really great pilot fighter. Like they just
No.
flew a lot more than anyone else.
Right,
That
right, right,
activity
right,
changes it all.
right.
So
So, having said that, what advice would you give someone who feels stuck right now? Because there's somebody on here listening right now that's feeling stuck.
absolutely. There's always going to be that battle. I'll tell you, you need to be able to change your mindset and focus on how you can grow from things. So when something happens to you, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. I heard this a long time ago, actually, a Tony Robbins event. They talked about this. When you're getting into those tough times, you're getting all the no shows, you're getting the no's on the recruiting calls. Those things aren't happening because you're an absolute failure and this isn't for you. It's really to get you to grow, to become that person. Just like what Diane was saying in the beginning of this call, like what's the person, or who's the person you have to become to be that next level where you want to be. And those failures, that's what's going to take you to it. Shifting that mindset to what I need to become to be able to accomplish those things. So I encourage everyone to just keep at it. And I'll tell you, the more activity you're putting into it and looking at it like that, just changing that mindset, because your mindset is always a choice. It's always a choice on what you want to have for your growth.
And it's so funny. We talk about it all the time because I like to say mindset. What
Yep.
is your mind set on? Right? Because, a lot of times as people, go through life, they get more set in what they're doing. Like they get comfortable. This is what I do. This is who I am. No, you can change it. It's just your mind set. So I'm going to encourage everybody today, because we've talked about that before, Mike. It's like being able to pivot, like that one moment when Tony said PhD in results. I mean, I've lived that, because that allowed me to move. So you've got to decide what's going to allow you to move to be the best person that you're meant to be. It's in there. You've got the tools, but we got to unlock them. And that's why we're talking about this today. So let's talk a little bit about daily habits, because I know let's talk about the mental one first. What's the one daily mental habit you now swear by?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Well, reading in general is always a daily habit that I've had. So I almost consider that a mental habit, because what that
Yeah.
reading is doing, it's getting my brain going, right? I'm starting to think about different things, and I swear when I'm reading all the different stories or the different examples in it gets my mind racing on how can I apply those things to my life. And when I do my reading every single day, like every single day. That's a habit I picked up a while ago, and it's been over a year now that I've done the 30 minutes every single day. And I'll tell you, when I've done that, it's gotten my mind thinking of not just what I can do with the stuff that I'm getting through, but how I can help others on my team. And the more I can think about these things that are new, that are coming up, and believing that I can accomplish it comes back to that whole thing with the belief that you talk about in yourself and what you can accomplish. And I just get more ideas out of more books, and I believe I can do them, and I just go for it. So I know that's helped me a ton with my mental, just the different thoughts that I have
Yeah.
throughout each morning.
And I know you do that because you have a morning ritual that you live by. And as do I. I really do. No one's going to take that away from me. I own that. I'm not going to get off track, whatever. And I know you do too. And so, Now, not everybody on here is going to do what you're going to tell them you're doing, okay? But if you can kind of give, because they're going to go, oh, no, that's too much work. But when you see the results that he's getting, because he's got these mental habits, and it allows his mind and himself to think differently and be different. You don't have to start. He didn't start out that way, just so you know, because where he is now, he had to work up to. Let me say that. So what he's sharing with you next, I want him to share that with you because this is where you can get to, but maybe you can say how you started and then maybe go to what did you get to? How about that?
Yeah, for sure. So, of course, going to events is always huge. And, I've been to a Tony Robbins event and they talked about what they call priming. And priming, if you haven't looked this up or haven't heard of it, if you go to YouTube and look this up with Tony Robbins priming, and it's literally a life-changing thing you can do every single morning. And, it's, if you're with different habits like this, it can be, I'll be transparent with you guys. Like I don't do it every single day and I know I need to get back into it because you do it for a while and sometimes, and I'm just being, honest with you guys because it's one habit that I know helps out a ton and it primes your day. So priming, what that does, it really puts you in that positive mindset for the day. And also it gives you the belief in yourself to accomplish the things that you're envisioning. So, priming, it comes down to a quick story. They did these surveys in like a shopping mall years ago where the person that was doing a survey would have a hot coffee and would ask someone to hold the coffee and then do a survey on something that they just read. And a lot of the responses from the people holding the warm coffee were very warm. They were being very nice about things. And then they did the same exact thing with people having an iced coffee, like a cold drink in their hands. And again, they're asking the person who's holding the iced coffee some questions about something that they read. And the reactions from the people were more cold, where we're like, oh, I don't really like that, or they weren't as welcoming. So that's kind of like what priming will do for you for your day. It will set you up to have the success, to believe in yourself, to get after it. But priming's been a big thing, and it's funny we talk about it right now. It's like it's getting me to like get back into what I need to do. So these are always really good reminders.
So what does priming mean? Because people are going, what does that mean? So what is priming?
Yeah.
What do you do in the morning? That's really what it is, right?
It's manifesting. It's thinking about what you want. So it's envisioning things that you want to accomplish. So whether it's something in your relationship, right, with your family, with your business, spiritually, it's seeing yourself, not just thinking about it, but really seeing yourself in that accomplishment. And that's the difference of, that thought process and priming. It's not just, oh yeah, I made the $1 million. No, it's seeing yourself with $1 million in the bank. It's seeing yourself having that huge team and you're a board member and you're at an event and you're getting your ring. There's a difference between seeing it in your mind versus just thinking about it, right?
Yes. So here's what I would tell everybody here. Manifesting, wasn't going to go here, but I will go here just for a minute. Manifesting is such an important thing. And the reason why I say that is because it almost feels like deja vu, like you've been there before, or you've done it again, because you've envisioned it so much in your mind that when it happens, like, oh, I've already been, no, it's because you, like some of the best sports figures in the world or Olympians, they go, it's exactly how I envisioned it. Then you're manifesting. And so that's what Mike is really talking about here, is to be crystal clear and see it. Like if you want something in your life, I'll make it simple. Like if you want a car, what color is the car? Is it? Can you see yourself getting it? Can you smell the leather? It's all of that. How good would it feel when you opened the door of that car and you got in that car? Now you started driving that car. How does it feel when you're behind the seat of the car? How does people like, oh, I love your car, whatever it is. That's what manifesting is, to envision it so so clear. And so it takes time to do that. So part of the mindset shift is those daily habits of including those type of things in your day. Like for me, nobody will steal my morning, my day. I know what I'm doing. I've got my morning ritual. I'm doing it. I could talk about that another time because people ask me, what do I do? And I'm like, okay, you really want to know? And then I'll tell them. But what I really want to share with everybody, the things that Mike was saying, hopefully you caught the belief came first, then the action. That's how breakthroughs are made. So what I'm going to do now, Mike, is I'm going to shift over to Delilah. We're going to bring Delilah up, and we'll bring you back in a minute. I'm going to bring Delilah superstar up here. I think we're getting her on right now. And I'll talk about her. I'm going to brag. I get to brag about you this morning.
Good morning, good afternoon. I'm in the East Coast.
Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about Delilah. I met Delilah several years ago now. And I remember when she walked up to me in the room and she had this beautiful smile. And I said, and she said her name was Delilah. And she was, we just had she remembers it more than me, the exact words. But I said, Delilah, you have such a beautiful smile. You're going to be a superstar here. I remember her going, I am? And she had this big smile on her face. And I said, yeah, this is just the start. Stick close by. And she has grown so much. She became an agency manager, district manager. She has never missed a trip since the beginning. And if I can I tell this part? Her family's so proud of her because she's can I say this? The first one in her family to earn 6 figures. And that was a big deal for her family. And I'm so proud of you because now you set the stage for others in your family as well, and others all across the TWC that are watching you today. So what I want to do is I'm going to ask you similar questions. And, Delilah, I just love you so much. You know that. We talk, and I can't wait to see you on the next trip together. We're going to be showing up. But I want to ask you similar questions to Mike's, okay? First thing I want to ask you, what was a mind shift that you made that really made a difference to change your results?
Good morning, good afternoon. I don't take this lightly. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, everybody in this call, all the leaders. Andy, happy birthday. You and I born in the same month. So my birthday was
Andy, yes, absolutely.
So
we have to say happy birthday to Andy out here.
You are truly a leader, you and Jane. So thank you so much for paving the way for all of us. And Diane is one of those leaders that, guys, I really like. I love our group. I mean, we are the best in the alliance. The warriors and the FITS group, we are the best. The leadership we have, guys, it's unbelievable. We have everything here to be succeed in life. If you are looking to have success, of course, this is the right place and the right company and the right people. So yes, for me, I would say the mind shift, Diane, is when I met you down here in Florida. Guys, I'm in Florida in West Palm Beach. I met her one of the event where in Miami. So she was like, Delilah, you're going to win. And I was like, I am? I don't know. Because I was just get recruited by Joey, my upline, and kudos to the Joey in Colorado. I love them to death. They are the one that brought me here. Thank God. I met Joey and Joey brought me in. And also I met all these great people here. Danny wasn't no other thing. It's big event for me because I was like searching to know the company because I was just started and I didn't know anything. I was like looking, but I went to Reno, Nevada. I don't know if anybody remember that event. Reno, Nevada. They had Diane, they have Olga. as a speaker, Olga was talking about affirmations. I never done these things in my life. Olga, kudos to you in Florida. Olga was talking about an affirmation. Diane was talking about white things, 10 things that you know you're supposed to do when you live here. So I went to my hotel room, I write those 10 things, and I start doing my affirmation, guys. I was like saying things like, I know I can do this. I must do this. I was saying things like that. I am a child of God. I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. And when I get scared, I will say, my God, I can, I will, I must. And I kept saying this thing. And then suddenly my mind shift. After that even changed my life totally. After that, guess what? My bank account was zero when I got back home. And I go back to work using my affirmations, my things. I'm looking at my 10 things Diane said to work down. And I'm looking at my book. I'm going over my stuff. And then all of a sudden, she come up with mastermind. That was Think and Grow, which I don't know if you remember those things, Diane.
Oh, yeah, right.
The shift changed for me. After that, even plus the mastermind she did with all the leaders like Mark Mowisi, Jake and Bell Cross, and she put me around winners. Guys, I did not believe in myself. No, I did not.
Yeah,
I didn't have that belief. And then everything changed for me after these things.
You know, it's funny that you say that, Delilah. I remember I invited you on that call and I told you who was going to be on there. And then you go, me? You want me on there? And you were so scared.
Exactly what I said.
I said, you belong there.
You remember, guys, I'm in the wine winners. I mean, Jake. I was like, Tim, and I was like, Mike Mowisi? And I was like, me? I'm not, I don't belong there. And then she just said, you can do it. And I went to work and I make it happen. So I went Ireland in 6 months that I've been with Alliance. This is going to be my 3rd trip going to Cabo, Mexico. I'm looking forward to, you know what? Thailand, baby.
So let's talk about how did that shift affect your activity, your confidence, and your income coming out, you know, with these mindset shifts? Because they were all coming at you at one time and you were just open for it. So talk about what happened with your activity and your confidence. It was crazy.
So for me, I'm from Haiti. I had an accent. I do know I have an accent. And some people that are from different countries, I know you have accent like me. I wasn't born here. I just have to learn English like all of us have to do, right? The one that came here wasn't born here. So I went to one of the events. I heard people talking about leads. And for myself, when Dan put me in that group mastermind, you have to do 20,000 a month. That was a challenge for me. And I was like, what in the world I'm going to do? And I look up, I said, if I buy leads, people are going to hear my accent. They're going to just hang up in my face. And I come up with all these excuses in my mind. And then all of a sudden I was like, I know what to do. So I go out there and meet people. That's what I did. And I just, you know what? I'm not going to buy leads because I know they're going to hang up in my face. They're not going to understand me when I'm talking to them over the phone. I'm just going to know what I know I can do. So, guys, I went in South Florida in the summertime. I feel like 100 degrees, very humid. If you haven't been in Florida, come this summer. You will know exactly what I'm talking about, guys. I have my backpack and I start going to work. And I've been in the street all day. I mean, I was working 4 days a week, 5 days a week. And I will knock in $150 a day. I mean, if you want to do that, that's another way. But if you want to buy an advantage, buy leads. And I would say both works. Just find your activity that you want to do. Don't just sit there and make excuses because it's not going to put anything in your bank account. You know, at the end of the day, you're going to be broke. But find something that you feel like you're comfortable. If you feel like, for me, when I started, I was like, okay, I'm not going to buy leads because of my accent, all these things. I could have just going on and on and on. But guess what? I stopped saying all these things. I said, I can, I will, I must. And I just go to work, find my niche, and then just work. And I work every single day, day in, day in. I'm like, just all the activity produce results. That's what it is. Hard work will produce results. Eventually, you will get the results.
Right, eventually. And you know what? It was so funny because after we had that conversation, because I said, Delilah, you have time to earn that trip. And she goes, I do? And I go, yeah. And so what we did is we broke it all down of what needed to happen. Remember that?
Yes.
And then you go, oh, yeah, I could probably do that too. It came from, I can't do that. Maybe I could do that. I could probably do that too. I can do that.
Exactly. Because when Diane is one of the leaders, guys, when you really, really down, she will call you out of the blue. I don't know what's pop up in her mind. If it's God, I don't know who talked to her. Say, go call so and so. That's the way she is. She's very obedient. Whenever she heard something, she will call you. She called me, Delilah, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing Uber. I was doing Uber, guys. She said, are you going to that trip? And I said, I don't know. She said, how many points do you have? I said, I have 140, but I need about 40,000 points. She was like, oh, you can do it. And I said, I can do it? You know when you, she said, yes, you can. And I said, really? I can really go? She said, yes. And we broke the numbers down, guys. That's one of the things you have to be good at here. If you really earn these trips, you gotta break this number down. You gotta know how much you're supposed to do in monthly basis, day in, day out. Otherwise, you're gonna see people packing and you will be left behind. That's the truth. Exactly. You need to break those numbers down and go to work. Go to work. And then guess what? You will be like in all these trips.
So what advice would you give someone who feels stuck right now?
My advice to you, find your leaders. Go to big event. Go to hotspot. Start meeting people that are winning in this company. We have so many people. We have so many people winning here, guys. Just surround yourself with winners and people that are believing you. So I didn't have the belief. I borrowed Diane's beliefs because I couldn't sit back, and because the way she was talking to me, just sit back, don't do anything. And that's failure. And then once you feel like you fail, don't just isolate yourself. Don't do that. That's when you're going to be like, gone. You know, you're going to be out of business because you isolate yourself. When you feel like you stuck, call your leader. And I call Diane all the time. Past week, I feel like I'm stuck. I call her. And then guess what? My production go up to the roof because I called her. She will tell you what to do when you get stuck, because we all get stuck in our mind, not anywhere else in our mind, our thinking. So for me, I would say, find yourself a leader that believe in you, and then guess what? Start believing in yourself too. Start saying good, positive things. You write your affirmations down and say them to you. I'm a good leader, or I'm a good salesman. My sales are increases every day. I am a dialing machine. I got that one from Olga. I am a dialing machine. I'm a good recruiter. You know, these things, keep saying this thing to you. And then guess what? You will see all the results come into place.
So what one daily habit do you now swear by?
Me, it's my God. I gotta put my God. First thing is my Bible. I gotta pray. I gotta meditate, and then after that is my affirmations and read books. Guys, you gotta read. That's one of the 8 steps. If you are in this business, you're not reading, you're not listening. You don't have that. I don't know what you're gonna do, because you have to. If you don't do these things, you're not attending big events, you're not attending art spots, you're not doing anything, you're not going to grow. That's so sad to say, because all these resources we have here, all these leaderships we have here. But if you're not doing your part, reading, meditations, manifesting, you heard all today, start doing them. Diane is making a lot of money. I'm sure in this company, in the first year, she make $1 million in the first year, guys. She gets started. You think she would tell me something and I'm not gonna do it? Oh yes, I'm looking up to her. Of course, I'm gonna do it. So if you wanna get unstuck today, do these things.
Right. Well, did you catch what she's saying? The same similar thing. Belief came first, then the action. It's very similar, right? Because that's how it works. And that's how breakthroughs are made. So, what I want to do now is kind of talk about a little bit about all of you. And if you want to bring Mike back on, that's great. I'm going to give everybody a challenge to work on. That would be awesome to have both these guys up here with me, because everything you need to grow is already in motion. But it's your mindset, guys, that determines how far it takes you. So here's the challenge. Okay, I got a challenge for you tonight. I want you to take 5 minutes. You can do 5 minutes, and I want 3 questions. And I promise you guys, you're worth 5 minutes, right? Would we all agree? Hopefully, all of you out there are going to nod with me. Yes, I can take 5 quiet minutes is the word, not 5 minutes of looking at your phone and doing 10 other things. The word is 5 quiet minutes, and answer these 3 questions. And I'm going to give them to you, and then you can write them down, and then we're going to get back to these guys again and ask some final things. But I want to give you a challenge, and I don't want to miss this part. Number 1, what belief is currently limiting me? What belief is currently limiting me? Hopefully you're writing that down, because I promise you this will help you. And I'm only asking you to take 5 minutes for yourself tonight to could change your future, right? Number 2, what would my income and impact look like if that belief was gone, if it wasn't there anymore? So with that limiting belief, what would your income and impact look like if that belief was gone? Those are the questions. You write them down. You know, this stuff could be a game changer for you. You just got to decide that you're going to give yourself that time and believe that it's going to matter for you. And number three, what's one action I can take this week to align with the version of me who's already winning? I'll repeat that again. What one action can I take this week to align with the version of me who's already winning? So think about it. What is an area where you're already winning? That's what I mean. So you got to think about that, right? And what I want you to do with this, do you think everybody got all those questions? I want to make sure. I'll repeat them one more time just to make sure you got them. Number 1 is, what belief is currently limiting me? Number 2 would be, what would my income and impact look like if that belief was gone, if it wasn't there anymore? And number 3, what's one action I can take this week to align with the version of me who's already winning? And so remember, think about it. There's an area that you're already winning. I promise you there is, because people say, I don't think so. I'm not. No, you've got something there. So then what I want you to do is write it down and then be honest. Then reach out to your mentor and have the conversation, because action creates clarity, and clarity unlocks income. So I'm going to say that again. Action creates clarity, and clarity unlocks income. Period. There's no other way around it. I'm sorry to tell you, but if you could take this time for yourself and think about these things, you could unlock the income generating, all that's inside of you, the income. So, Mike, I want to ask you a question now that I've said these three things. And Delilah, I know you guys are going to do that tonight, right? That's going to be one of the things you're going to do.
For sure.
What are your thoughts on those questions? I mean, wouldn't that be crazy if we got everybody that was listening here actually did it?
Be amazing. Absolutely.
It would change everybody that's listening here today. You could have an epiphany of things and then get with your mentor. Delilah, what do you think of those questions?
Oh, those questions, definitely. I'm going to take 5 minutes today and do them because that's what's going to take you to the next level, because you need to do another shift to go to the next level.
And you know what's interesting about that? Because here's the thing I hear from people all the time when, like, I give them a book or whatever, and we're working on some stuff, and if they miss a call and they go, oh, I got that. I know that. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. We hear it, right? And then here's my question. How good are you at that? That's a different question. We talk about it all the time because, people say, oh, I've been to that event. I know that, whatever. But you got to catch it. You got to own it. You got to believe it, because your mind, I started it with unlocking the income generating process for yourself. It starts there. It doesn't start with all the leads. It doesn't make you, because people will come back and say, oh, it's the leads, it's this, it's that. No, it isn't. We've got so many different lead choices. And, I need the secret leads. I need the special leads. You need this, the 6 inches between your ears of the belief. Because I promise you, Mike will get the same leads that somebody else will get, and he'll tear them up. And he'll just go at it, because I don't know if you guys were at Stage to Success. Most of you were, a lot of you were. And when we were doing our skit, he's got to walk before he goes into somebody's home. And I'm going to have, Mike, I'm going to take a few minutes, because right here, this is a mindset shift. This is an example. Yep. It's a great example. Share what you do before you go in the home.
Yeah, absolutely. So, even before this call, if you notice for a second, I kind of just did this and just kind of got fired up. And it's kind of like you make a move to put yourself in that state, right? And that's what I do before I go into appointments. So before I go into appointments, before I go on to Zoom calls, whatever it is that I need to be ready for and I need to be me and get after it, I make that move. And, before going into a home, when I get out of that car, actually, even one step earlier, like when I'm in the car and I pull up to that house, like I'm already thinking like the deal is done inside. Like we're already doing the application. This family is covered. I was meant to be put in front of them today. And then what I do is I hit my chest like that. And I just get ready. And I just have that mindset shift right then and there to just have that state of mind, being in that right state. So then I get out of the car, I'm waving to that house, like big smile on, and I'm probably feeling a little crazy, and I kind of laugh at myself. I'm like, whatever, going into it with a fun laugh, right? But as I'm walking to that house, though, this is where it kind of starts with like put in the pattern out there. I'm just saying yes, like literally just saying yes, yes. Yes. And then I get to that door, knock, knock. I got a big smile on my face. I'm just waiting for yeses. That's all I want, is just yeses going through. So green lights. But that's how I get ready for it.
Now I'm going to ask Delilah the same question, because she's door knocking. Remember, she's done like 150 door knocks in a day. So Delilah, what's your mindset when you're walking up?
When I'm walking up, like Max say, I always have a smile in my face. Guys, you cannot walk to somebody's house and you pissed off or you mad or carrying your baggage. Diane always says, put them in a box. And I didn't know about that box. Now I know the box, right, guys? So whatever happens to the first appointment, doesn't matter. You don't carry it to the next one. No. Me, when I start knocking door, people say I'm not interested. I don't get mad. I just have like more doors to go. I just check it off and keep going. That's what you have to do. That will be your mindset. It doesn't matter if you're working the leads, you don't close them, you still gonna have somebody that say yes to you. You just have to get to all the appointments. You remember the skit? Get to all the appointments. Once you get all of them done, all the doors that you have to knock in that day, guess what, guys? You will have results.
Well, it's that book, Go for No, right?
Go for no's, yes.
Yeah, because in that book it says, they knock on the door. You wouldn't want insurance, would you? And it goes in the next one, and that person was selling insurance from just saying that. And so Delilah becomes prepared. Mike is prepared with their mindset. That's what they're mostly prepared with, is their mindset. The rest you can fix, because we've got all the tools here, guys. We got everything you could possibly want here. We've got all the training. We've got all the support. We've got a plethora of different types of leads. We've got everything. All we need is for you to unlock your mindset and to have that belief that you deserve it. You matter. You're going to make it happen. There's going to be great things coming your way. So what are you going to do today, right? So think about this. What if you tricked yourself for the next 3 days? Just 3. That you took all of these things, because I promise you, once you do 3, you'll do more. I'm kind of tricking you right now. It's like, what's the hardest day when you go to work out? The first day when you walk out of the door to go to the gym. It's the same thing. Because a lot of times people stop themselves like, I don't know this or I don't know that. But we've taken away all the excuses here, guys, because we've got all the tools you could possibly need here. So all we need is you to believe in yourself and fix that mindset to make that shift right up there. And believe me, we're not perfect up here, because there's times I have to take a checkup from the neck up, like, oh man, all this, what? Okay, I got to start over. But I'm like, Delilah and Mike, I put my armor on first thing in the morning. And I have my routine and my ritual, because I am not going to let anyone steal my day. What about you? This is me. I have this. Is my life perfect? Is my day perfect? No. But when you start out with that armor on you, it makes it a lot tougher for somebody to steal it, because there's going to be people that are going to try to. They don't mean to. They could be your family members or your whoever in your family. I'm not going to say names or people. It could be somebody that you know who they are. Maybe you don't take that phone call because you know it's going to be negative stuff, right? So you've got to just believe in yourself, because once you believe in yourself, the process is here, the system is here. It's all proven. We see numbers that are crazy, right? And why not you? Why not now? Why shouldn't you have the things that you want in life? But if you don't unlock this part, the other part is going to be harder to do, because then we will start blaming other things of why it's not working. It's easy to play the blame game, right? Mm-hmm. And so how do you undo that? Well, remember I started with that little rubber band? I don't know. I walked around with it for a while, guys. I had a lot of fixing to do. But I'll tell you what, when you did it, it does cause the pattern interrupt. And that's why I want to circle back to that for just a quick second. So if you're having trouble to break those habits, do something that's going to cause a pattern interrupt. And Mike, you know what that is, because you've got to switch it.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have. And it's like, anytime I come to like kind of a crossroads of like having to make a decision, I always look at is this choice I'm about to make, what is going to get me closer or further away from my goals? And I go for the one that's going to get me closer to my goals. So when I get to that crossroads, I think about, is this going to give me a bigger business or is this going to give me a smaller business? And then I make my decision.
That's great advice for everybody right there. Because if you're not focusing on those things and being like with Mike, even I would tell you guys what he told you and Delilah said, if you're, let's say you're on the phone and you're calling people, it's the same thing. You got to have that smile on your face when you're talking. You got to have that mindset that, hey, they are going to love what I have to say. I know it. And if they don't, guess what? That's why it's the law of large numbers. Hey, because if you batted 1,000, guess what? We wouldn't be so special because we have to go through to find the winners, to find the people that want their family protected. Not everybody's going to say yes. Mike, did you ever have a day that everybody said yes to you?
No way. I know there's been days where it's been really, really good. You get those really, really good days and you just feel like, oh my gosh, like it doesn't even matter. I can go in there and, barely get through it, and get some answers or get some yeses. But no, I don't think there's been a day where I've had all yeses. It would be amazing. But
yeah.
No one bats 1,000. No one bats 1,000.
And Delilah, for you to go through 150 doors, what would you do if 150 people said yes?
Oh, that would be a great week for me, a good month. That will say that because you won't find everybody say yes, guys. You just have to look for the one that needs your help. And then just keep going. Doesn't matter what you will find. Me, when I'm looking at a door, I'm looking at lives I can help with. Because so far I've been here this June, going to make me 4 years in the Alliance. And guys, I've been delivering death claims in the past, last year and this month. And so far, 6 of them. I see what they done for this family. I know my community, not everyone going to answer leads. No, we don't do that. We're not going to answer no leads. If you're calling, we're not going to buy insurance over the phone. Some people might, but there's people that in order for us to reach them, we got to go find them. That's our calling. That's our job, to go out there and help everybody possible that you can help with. That's the goal, guys, to help every family in America so they don't have to go do a GoFundMe. They don't have to go like a church. They have to collect money to do a funeral that would maybe $10,000 or something like that. Guys, it's our job to go out there and find those people, buy the leads, do you see me? I sell life insurance. I'm working with these guys. That's me. I'm not a secret agent. You already know I'm selling it. So hello, give me a call. I will help you.
I love that. Well, I got to tell you guys, as I'm talking to everybody that's on the TWC, hopefully you took a lot of the challenge. Hopefully you'll take the 5 minutes quiet time, 5 minutes for yourself tonight. I keep repeating that because I want to remind you. I wish I could have people put in before you get off, put in the chat, I'm going to take 5 minutes of quiet time tonight. Write that in the chat. That's what I want you to do. 5 minutes of quiet time tonight, that you're going to commit to do that. Okay? And hopefully you got the 3 questions and you're going to do it because you've got the tools. Now it's time to unlock the part of you that makes them work, your mind. So let's create the breakthrough you were built for. So I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank Mike and Delilah for pouring it out. Thank you for Andy and Jane for all you do. Alliance family, let's go kill it. And I'll see you next time. Well, I know I'm going to see you in person at the next event. Well, I'll be there. You should be there too. Hey, thanks, guys. Have a great one. Bye. Bye.